Good morning.
Morning.
It's Sunday morning. Oh, should I say welcome to the parenting? What are we called? Parenting versus podcast. It's Sunday morning, about 8:30. We are sitting on our back porch in our swing, in our usual spot, watching the kids play in the pool.
We're slackers today.
We are slackers today. We're deciding today not to go to church, which instills lots of guilt in my heart.
I don't feel guilty.
I know, I've been conditioned for many decades to...
It's not like God ceases to exist or hear you because you don't show up at a building.
Ask the deacons at my old church.
Well, they're sorely mistaken. Yeah, we're slacking. We had our daughter's birthday party yesterday, which was fun, but our yard is looks like a little girl's birthday party. Threw up all over it.
It looks like Animal House 2, minus the beer cans and the vomit.
With kids' decorations.
Well, there might be vomit somewhere, I don't know.
Ew. No, there's like little pink poofs hanging from the patio and like little pinwheels and little pink flags and things hanging from the trees. So
Yeah.
it's cool. I mean, it's just kind of like really pink out here.
A little crazy. Our backyard, quote unquote, we use that term quote unquote a lot, but our quote unquote grass.
It's not grass anymore. It's been suffocated by a kiddie pool.
There are blades of grass, but it's mostly grass and mud now.
Well, we had the wading pool out for the kids yesterday at the party, and it got trampled. Although we kind of knew it was going to happen. It was just like...
I wasn't expecting it to get stabbed by a kid, but...
Yeah, our wading pool got stabbed by a kid.
It's all good. I mean, I understand kids are kids, and I completely am not upset or angry about it, but our pool did get stabbed by a kid.
Our shout out of the day goes to Target, actually.
Yeah.
Target hooked it up. Like, we called them and said, hey, our pool that we bought a few days ago has a hole in it. And they said, bring it back. We'll give you another one. And we were like, okay, sounds good. So we did that.
Yeah.
So we just filled up the new replacement pool, which is the same pool that we had before. Just not stabbed.
Just not stabbed.
Not stabbed.
Although I've already had to patch it because when I was filling it up, I turned it upside down and it got hit by a rock. And what's up, buddy?
I'm playing in the water.
You
You go play in the water?
Okay. Go play in the water.
Go play in the water.
You can go play in the water.
That's 2-year-old Riley.
He wants to play in the water, but he's already soaking wet, so I'm not sure what he means.
Maybe
by
take
that.
his shirt off.
Yeah.
He likes that.
Do you want to take off your shirt?
Okay.
You say yes? Or
Yeah.
no? Yeah? Okay. All right, buddy.
But,
Oh, no.
oh, no. Okay, he wants to keep it on, which is rare for this boy.
He's two, so I'm just going to leave it be.
This is a creaky thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we need some WD-40 on this thing and also on our kids' bedroom doors because every time I go in to check on them, it's like,
Yeah.
and then it wakes them up.
I think I would probably use graphite, but...
Want some water?
Okay.
Oh, okay. No.
But yeah, it was nice to get a replacement. Target they were really kind about it. I was like, yeah,
No questions asked. They were
pool,
like,
our
"Here you
pool,
go."
our pool was stabbed. I think they were just happy it wasn't like a person
Yeah.
seeing
well,
as Albuquerque. And
yeah.
anyway, but yeah, now it's filling up, and Luke's happy, and
Swimming like a fish.
yep. And I will probably join him in about an hour, maybe when it starts to warm up.
Yeah, it was a nice party. It was cool. We had a lot of little kids like running around and jumping in the swimming pool and just getting crazy. So, but it's a good way to contain them all in like one spot, which is kind of the strategy we were
true.
going for. So,
Very true. Little victories like that are
Yeah.
nice.
I also may have snuck out here last night when the kids were in bed and had a cup of coffee and a piece of cake by myself, and I didn't have to share it with anybody.
I was on the computer while you were doing that, right?
Glorious. Yeah.
Yeah. I came out and I saw a plate
It's
and a
frosting.
fork. Yeah,
Guilty.
little things like that keeps your parenting
At a
game
level.
on point.
Well, that's true. And it was crazy because, like, I don't know. It was like 7 p.m, and we had, like, coffee in the coffee pot from the party left over. And I was like, I'm going to heat some of that up. Put some cream in it, and I'm going to enjoy it with a piece of cake. And,
Word.
And it was nice just because I don't typically get to actually sit and enjoy my food anymore as a parent, or have a cup of coffee that's warm. I think I've said that before, but I just like relax.
Does your coffee taste better if you hold it with two hands and you put your knees up?
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
This?
Nobody can see you, but yeah, if you're like holding it with two hands and you kind of have your shoulders up and your knees up, you know what I mean?
It's like a cuddly coffee cup?
You're cuddling the coffee.
Yeah, I think it does taste better. There's something about...
What if it's 105 degrees outside?
Doesn't matter.
Really?
Irrelevant.
No, okay.
Hey, Riley, come on over here, bud. Yeah, I know. Coffee tastes good in general, but like if you can savor it and cozy up to a nice cup of coffee. So here's my favorite way to drink coffee. All right. I'm going to set the tone for you. So we were at this coffee shop in Portland a few weeks back called Coffee Time. We did our podcast there. That spot in a nice leather chair with a sweater, but it's got to be the kind of sweater or hoodie where it just barely covers your fingertips, so you can kind of like do this.
Maybe like a good cashmere.
No, cashmere makes me itch. I'm talking about like a nice soft hoodie, you know? Like one of those thin hoodies that's really soft, like vintage wash. Yeah, and then so you cuddle and you put the sleeves over your fingers and you just like cozy up with your cup of coffee, and it's raining outside and you have this nice big leather chair in a coffee house. Maybe some light music. There's like a strong smell of coffee being ground or roasted, and you're just enjoying it. You're soaking it all in. Like, that's my favorite way to have coffee, honestly. I don't know. Like, it's nice. Like, we have some really good coffee spots in New Mexico, which is awesome. Like, we have good coffee here, but the weather doesn't match the coziness, and that's unless it's wintertime. Actually, the other day before I left for Portland, I went to a coffee spot with my friend Kara, and it was like a freak rainstorm, and it was amazing because I was sitting in there like with my latte, and I like looked out the window, and all of a sudden there's like rain like pummeling onto the ground, and it was amazing. So I don't know, it was like this little freak storm while I was drinking my coffee. It was perfect timing.
Where at? Here?
Yeah, right before we left for Portland.
There was a storm?
There was the day before, yeah. It was like really rainy.
There was a storm?
Wow.
That's what I sound like sometimes.
Yeah, you're kind of weird.
If I hear about weather, I'm like, the weather?
A switch gets flipped.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you're like goofy.
I guess. Oh, there's a weather?
Oh my god.
Anyway.
I married this.
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I forgot what we were talking about because I was taking care of
The best way
kids.
of drinking coffee.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I described my ideal coffee moment. What's yours?
I mentioned cashmere. I just wanted to point out that the only way I know about cashmere is from Seinfeld.
It's itchy.
I thought it was like a really high quality wool.
It's a high quality fabric, but it's really itchy.
I thought it was supposed to be soft.
It is soft. It's like rabbit.
Ah, okay.
It
But it itches.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't do cashmere.
I can't do sweaters, period.
Well, also I like rabbits. Like I don't want to wear them.
Well, what if they're old and they're like on their last leg?
What are they? You think they're like, oh, I think I'll dedicate my body to be a sweater?
Like maybe they die natural deaths and then they just
and then the cashmere hunters go out and try to find the rabbits that have died natural deaths.
They just collect the dead rabbits and skin them.
There's probably a whole industry, natural death cashmere.
Yeah.
Kind of like
for those
chickens.
Yeah, for those of our, those of the conscious, animal conscious. They don't want to harm anybody.
Some things like skin, though. That's kind of creepy if you think about that. And
I think that would also take food away from the detritivores. A detritivore or detrivore? Detritivore? I'm not sure. I'll Google it later. But these are, so there's carnivores, omnivores, herbivores, and there's detrivores.
Which are?
Detritivores. Those are like the things that eat decomposing matter. So like worms,
so you're
fungus.
Not talking about like scavengers. You're talking
not
about
scavengers.
Bacterial.
Scavengers. That's a good question. That's one question that some of my kids popped up to me about.
Great. I have the same inquiries as high school.
Well, it's a good question. They're like, does that make a vulture or a hyena a detritivore
because
it's decomposing?
They're not doing actual like predatory killing. They're just eating what's around.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I think they would still be considered carnivores.
Well, I mean, maybe, but also if you think about, like, if there's an animal that's dead on the ground, like rotting, and they find it and they eat it, they are tearing that matter apart, and they are making it easy for it to be biodegradable.
All right, that was weird. My brother just called and it stopped our recording. We're doing this on an iPhone, by the way.
And
We have no professional gear. We have kids
I have a 2-year-old
crawling around us.
climbing on me that
There we
smells
go.
like syrup.
Okay, you can sit next to us. So, I also wanted to talk about a news story that I saw.
Okay.
It was from the Albuquerque Journal, which is our newspaper here, since 1893. So they're reporting on this startup tech company that's downtown. They have a nice office right on Central and I think it's First.
Yeah.
Central and First, right above the Tucanos.
Yeah, it's a it's a really nice building.
Yeah, I think they started in like 2010, something like that. They've been here for a long time, and it's a really one of those type of companies you don't see very often in Albuquerque. So they're pretty valuable to, I would say, our image and also to our local economy. But the Albuquerque Journal was reporting that they had contacted the governor, Susana Martinez, and the mayor, Richard Berry, about the problem that they're starting to see, the increasingly worse problem of crime and safety in downtown Albuquerque.
Yes, you have hair.
Are you listening?
Yes, your son's just telling me
Okay.
he has hair.
Sometimes when you're a dad, you talk to your wife about just weird, nerdy stuff, and you have no idea if she's listening.
Right back at you, pal.
But, yeah, so they contacted the mayor's office and the governor's office and about the concerns of safety. And as they were talking about this, their news van got stole. Lindsay's telling me to hurry up.
Got stole?
Got stole.
Their news van got stole.
I'm kind of southern, I guess. I don't know.
Their news van got stolen?
Their news van was stolen, yes, as they were reporting on this.
All right.
Anyway, that was boring. Let's move on.
Well, it was ironic.
It's ironic. Okay.
And it also proves the point.
Yeah.
So maybe it added to the story in some weird aesthetic way. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like they're like, hey, will you take us seriously now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So much crime in this city. It's kind of nuts. I don't know. My friend owns a coffee shop down the street, and it got broken into on Thursday. And she posted the video cam footage of the people breaking in, and I don't think they've caught them yet. But it's just sad because this is, you know, we hear about all this stuff all the time, and it's like so common. Like people you know, almost everyone you know here has a story about their house getting broken into or their car getting stolen or something happening in that vein. We have the highest number of car thefts in the country, which, I mean, that's one thing, but like literally everybody I know has had something happen where their car has been stolen or somebody has broken into it and tried to steal it.
Right. It's mostly big trucks.
Yeah.
And I was talking to your dad because he got a new truck yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was telling the dealer, he told me that he told the dealer that they need to put a security system on. And that was what the agreement, because the make and model of your dad's truck is one of the most stolen vehicles in the city.
Yeah, they put on some kind of or they're going to put on some kind of a tracker so that if it does get stolen or,
Yeah.
you know. Or, well, I guess it's actually auto theft. It's theft proof is the thing.
Yeah, and your dad made me laugh too.
Why?
We were talking about crime, and I was like, yeah, well, we're the number one car thefts in the nation. And he was like, we're number one. Oh, wait. That's
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Nope.
We're getting kind of used to that here.
Anyway,
So,
I'm going to put our daughter down for a nap real quick, so continue your conversation.
all right, I'm going to pause the conversation. How about that?
Milk?
Okay, we're back. We had to pause because our daughter needed a nap. But, So
yeah, we were talking about crime in Albuquerque. Yes, sir.
I stuck some water on my nose.
Uh-oh, what are you going to
are
do?
you okay?
You got water up your nose? Can you blow your nose? It kind of feels funny when that happens, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You okay?
Okay, I done.
Oh, look, he's all done. That's right.
Okay, I done the water.
He's all done.
Look, he's all done in the water.
That was short-lived compared to normal.
Short-lived.
Usually he's in the water for a long time.
Yeah.
And now our kids are swarming us like a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
It's probably good we took a break today from the hustle and bustle of trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
By like 9:15.
Yeah, church is
Definitely not feeling that today.
like pre-Monday for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love our church and I love our, like, pastor and stuff. Like, I really enjoy going. But there are some days where I'm like, yeah, not going to happen today. Today is one of those days.
Today, yeah, definitely.
Can't commit to that schedule today,
Yeah.
so.
But
Careful, buddy.
when I said I felt guilty about not going, I don't feel guilty. But at one time I would. I felt like it was like a chore sort of deal.
Well, I think in the way we were both raised, like in that evangelical setting, it's like it is ingrained in you, like you know, oh, you missed church, like you're missing quote unquote fellowship, and then you know you need to feel bad about that. And the thing is, life happens, and life is about balance. I mean, even like the Jews in the Bible rested.
Yeah.
We don't, as an American culture, give ourselves enough time to rest most of the time.
Yeah, it's true.
We are like obsessed with keeping our schedules packed all the time.
I think maybe church was intended to be restful, like to meet with people, have a meal with people, have interaction with people in conversation.
Yeah, but I think Western culture has completely distorted that.
Yeah.
Again.
And I feel sort of like our culture now has gotten to the point where we can't really talk to each other. I don't know. I don't know if it's always been like this or if this is something fresh and new. I've talked to you about this before. But I feel like, okay, go ahead. I'll pause it again. What's up?
You don't have to pause it.
I'll pause it.
No, I'm just plugging in the monitor.
Oh, okay. All right, another interruption, but what were we talking about? Were we talking about
Western culture and church.
Western culture and church? What was I talking about?
How we're not allowed to rest. It was literally like 5 minutes ago. How do you
I know,
not remember this?
I don't know. My brain works in bursts, I guess. I have no idea.
We were talking about how church was probably intended to be restful at some time, but how Western culture sort of maybe destroyed that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. About the current time, right? So, and the culture and the environment and everything. Like, I don't... So, here's the thing. I'm sorry if you're getting upset right now.
I'm not upset. I just, like, literally...
You're a little bit upset.
I'm a little annoyed because I don't know how you could forget a conversation that we literally had, like, 2 minutes ago.
I have a memory of a goldfish.
Makes me want to bang my head against a wall sometimes.
Yeah, we do that to each other. But I love you. Yeah, I was just... I think I was just thinking about...
Why did you give one to Ralph?
Because he wasn't in the pool with you. Go play.
Because you can play with it in the pool?
Sure.
Yay! Play in the pool.
My patience is so thin.
Yeah, mine too. My reaction would be to give up and stop recording and throw this out. But
This is our life now.
this is our life. I like to be honest. I like to have a snapshot of my life so that I can look back and I'll probably listen to this in 5-10 years and think about it or whatever. And I'm not shy about putting this online either. Like people.
I'll be honest. Like I just have a lot on my mind.
Yeah, I know that if somebody's listening to this, we're transferring our stress to them a little bit. They probably listen to this and like if they're still listening, I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's not like having kids isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. It's not a like annoying, stressful thing. But there are times where you're like,
it's
just
super
ironic
stressful
because, well, no, I mean it is. But there's times where like your kids could care less about what you're doing, and the minute you actually sit down to do something intentional, they're all up on you.
But you sacrifice your entire life for your kids. That's parenting.
Yeah, and it is
And
not easy.
stress is transferred, I think. Like for me, I can sit and some things that our kids do might not stress me out, but they'll stress you out. And when you're stressed out, I get stressed out.
Well, as a mom, your brain is always on. Like it doesn't matter if you're sleeping at night. It doesn't matter if you're by yourself. Your brain is always on. Like right now. Here we go again.
Luke, give him that, please.
No, I
There should be 2. Give him one, please. Find the other one?
They're both the same, buddy. Well, help him, please, or you guys are not going to play with them at all. It's stupid shit like this. I really just, it's like entertain yourselves. You have how many toys in your backyard?
They're
A
5.
pool.
They're 5 and 2.
I know that. I'm not saying. Oh my gosh. I'm not an idiot.
I didn't see.
I do know how old they are, and I do know what they act like. All I'm saying is that, like, parents go to these great lengths to like buy toys and do all this stuff to entertain their kids, and their kids are never entertained.
That's true.
And we don't even buy our kids that many toys. Like, we have toys that we get from like thrift stores, and we have toys that have been given to us.
Yeah.
But we don't go out and buy like brand new toys for our kids all the time because there is no point.
I try to avoid thrift stores though. Just, on a side point, because the toys at thrift stores have gotten super expensive.
Well,
Anyway.
no, that's true. I'm saying if it's worth it. Like, like sometimes you can find something at a thrift store that's actually decently priced.
Right. Yeah, it's true. So we're kind of missing out on these topics and these discussion points that are deep and important to our culture and to our lives and stuff. And we're not missing out, but it's hard to finish a thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I was saying earlier, like when you're a mom or a parent for that matter, but I would say this is probably more mom specific just because of our roles in child raising. Like, your brain is always on, and for whatever reason, your kids always want you for something. And they take up a lot of mental space, as my kid sits here and hits me
With a pinwheel. Even when I go like do something that's kid free, they still They're on
are
your
like
mind?
in my head.
Right.
And it's like,
It's even hard. I don't know if I don't know if it's much. It probably is different for moms. I'm not gonna like discount that. But for me as a dad, like I want to make sure they're safe, and it's even hard sometimes to close my eyes and go to sleep because they're in different rooms across the house. I can't hear them. We have monitors, but I can't hear them. I can't see them, and I have to kind of trust that everything's going to be okay at night.
see, that's so opposite of being a mom, because where you can't hear them, moms hear every little noise. Every cry, every whimper, doesn't matter if they're across the house. I hear every little tiny
But if they're
noise.
just sleeping, like, you can't hear them.
No, but if they shuffle in their sleep or they move or they go in the middle of the night, I hear it.
Right.
And then my brain is on like alert, and it's hard for me to go back to sleep. You know, like last night our 5-year-old had a nightmare.
No, it wasn't a
Well, not a nightmare. He got scared.
Because 3 cockroaches went into that cat and camouflages, and one just went through my crack of the door, and that was pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it was.
We have cockroaches in New Mexico, especially in the summertime, and they tend to like to hide in cracks in doorways. And our back door to our backyard is close to the boys' bedrooms, and so sometimes we get the occasional wanderer. And last night he saw one wandering, I guess, in between the crack in his door, and he ran into our room screaming and crying, and I had just fallen asleep, and then I got jolted out of bed with that, and it was like, I'm happy to comfort my kid. I know that's a scary thing for a kid. But yeah, I'm a little tired this morning just because, when you're about ready to fall into that deep REM sleep and then you get jolted awake, and then it's hard for you, again, like my mind was on and Luke was sleeping with us, and so it was hard for me to get back to restfulness, and then he thrashes, and so I kept getting kicked in the chest and like in the head and stuff. So I don't know, I thought about going into his room and sleeping just so I could sleep, but I just was too tired to move.
Yeah, my brain really wants to like work out a lot of like unresolved issues, and I can never do that because of kids. I sound like a jerk, but I love my kids.
No, you're being honest.
But
I think a lot of people don't say this, and they need to.
Like right now.
we're trying to have a conversation about something important to us, and we're sitting here being interrupted about colors on a pinwheel.
Hey, Luke, go in the sun and dry off.
And it probably seems like we're always trying to get rid of our kids, but the truth is, like, we are with our kids a lot.
We are.
And they are always on us, touching us in our faces, on our laps. And this is like the one moment that we try to take to ourselves, not to be selfish, but because we need it.
Yeah.
Like most parents need this time.
This is a common thing that we enjoy.
Yeah. Well, and I was even like struggling with this afternoon, you know, like we have a buddy in town, Jeff, and he's here from Irvine, from California. And he's visiting. And, you know, we don't get to see Jeff a whole lot. So I kind of wanted to hang out with him a little tonight, maybe go grab a bite, you know, us like adults. But I don't even know how that's going to happen. Like, I don't want to hire a babysitter because I don't want to pay like extra money just to go hang out with my friend.
Right.
Our friend. But by the same token, I would like the break to be able to have a grown-up conversation with Jeff and hang out. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of torn. I'm almost willing to pay the money for a babysitter. Mm-hmm. But I know it's not practical, but at the same time, maybe sanity is practical and maybe I should just bite the bullet. I don't know. It's that balance. It's always that balance.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Yes, guys.
It's time for my new growing animal. One of those growing things.
Nope, we're not going to the dollar store right now, but maybe later if you're really good.
So I did want to talk about truth and what it is because we were talking about that. Probably not going to talk about it now. I also wanted to talk about why Christians can't talk about Donald Trump with other Christians.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not going to talk about it now because...
well, I'm kind of curious, but okay.
I wanted to talk about crime in a city and you know, how that affects our kids and us. Mm-hmm. So I had a bunch of stuff on my mind that we're not going to talk about. This is probably the worst podcast we've ever recorded. I'm just saying. There's like 3 pauses, 3 breaks. Anyway. But there's something else being recorded here, and that's my frustration, your frustration, real life. So whatever.
Yeah. So my question, and this is just a question to ponder, I guess, for all the listeners out there or not.
0 listeners right now.
Yeah. Hey, do not hit your brother in the head. Give him his pinwheel and tell him you're sorry, please.
Sorry.
And go play. For the love of God, go play. No, let go, please. Okay, please don't handle that. My patience is completely shot right now. Like I said earlier, I am beyond, now you're going to timeout. Our 5-year-old just decided that hitting was okay. So now we have to regulate. This is the worst part of parenting. And it's necessary, but it still sucks. When your firstborn thinks that he's the parent and that he has to parent his siblings, it's like, it gets kind of ugly. And I understand that because I'm a firstborn. Lorenzo's a firstborn. We butt heads a lot because we both want to be in charge and we're both used to taking on that role. But it's hard to teach your firstborn, like, you're not the parent. You're not in charge.
Right.
So he's in timeout. Now he's crying like a banshee and our neighbors probably think we're beating our kids. But, you know, what's new? It's Albuquerque. It's probably kind of normal, right?
It's commonplace here.
So my question that I was going to ask before that lovely break was, and this is something for people to ponder. I'm not necessarily going to offer an answer or a solution, but what do you do to define your family as your own, aside from extended family and aside from relatives, aside from grandparents? How do you do that? And then if there is a disagreement or a conflict or a lack of understanding, what do you do to remedy that? Does that make sense? Because that's what's been on my mind. Like
if you have, what do you define as your family?
Well, how do you define your own family? Because I'll be blunt. I mean, we have both sets of grandparents here with us, right? Mm-hmm. It's very easy for those sets of grandparents to try to influence how we do things, when we do things, the way we do things.
Gotcha.
So how do you define your family aside from that influence? Because it is hard, especially when you have family in town with you. It's helpful to have them, but it's also kind of hard because like holidays, you know, we've talked about this. Like, I was just watching the differences in our parents yesterday at the birthday party. And there's this pull. Like, every time we have any kind of family event, there's like a pull of differences.
Oh yeah.
And so I was just kind of wondering, like, geez, how do
Yeah.
we...
I think that's complex because every person is different. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody responds differently to different things. Like, your mom is on one end of the grandma spectrum, and then my mom is on the complete opposite end of that grandma spectrum.
Yeah.
And it's usually the grandmas that are exerting like control. Like the dads,
They kind of go with it.
they kind of go with the flow.
They go with the grandmas.
Yeah. So I think, and then those factors have to do with like who you are as a person. Like, how do you deal with that type of personality, and how do I deal with that personality? So there are.
And there's cultural differences.
So look at all the different reactions. There's like your mom and my mom. There's your mom and you, and your mom and me. And then there's my mom and you, my mom and me. So there's all these. There's
Combinations.
it's like a spider web of these different connections. So I think it is hard, and I think that you just have to. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend to have it figured out. It is hard, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to have. I almost said Lindsay's birthday, but Juliet's birthday here. Sorry, I pulled your hair, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's why one of the reasons why I wanted to have Juliet's birthday here and not at a grandma's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I honestly, if I would have done it differently, I wouldn't have had it at a grandma's house, and I wouldn't have had it here. I would have had it at a park or something because
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I hate hosting birthday parties.
Yeah.
It's not fun for me as a parent. It's
Yeah.
stressful, and I'm too busy trying to worry about everybody else, and I can't enjoy my kid's own birthday.
Right.
I hate it.
No, I think that's a common sentiment too. As a parent hosting a party.
Well,
I was talking to
I
other.
would rather enjoy my daughter's first birthday than have to entertain people.
Right, but how do you do that?
No, there's spiders over there for real, because I saw spider webs. You're not looking over there, because that...
Okay, you can pick a different spot for timeout then.
How about this chair right here?
This chair.
That has spiders too.
What was I talking about?
Birthday parties.
I told you my memory is just awful, and so
Really need birdseed.
he's fine.
Problem solved. All gone.
Yeah, having the party at our house. So yeah, so I was talking to other parents, and they agreed with me that it's.
No, I don't have... No, I don't have it anymore, birdseed, to feed the birds.
Guess what? The bird seed on the ground will feed the birds, and it will also grow grass.
Yep.
So, win-win.
And look, the ants like birdseed.
Cool. So we're feeding birds, ants, and the ground. That's pretty neat, actually, if you think about it.
Yep,
Science, bro.
but yeah, hosting
It's not sight.
hosting parties is not. It's not fun. I mean, I guess it could be fun for if you're that type of personality, but I haven't met a parent that loves to host parties yet. I don't know, like just loves it.
I think some people do.
Yeah.
I'm not that person, but
It's getting easier for me. And it comes back to like being prepared, I think. But yeah, still, like during the party,
we were not prepared even yesterday.
I know we were more prepared than like previous birthdays. I think it was like Luke's third, where we planned it at a park. It was too windy.
I tried to do that 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's always windy in Albuquerque during Luke's.
Yeah, April's not a good time.
April is a horrible month for weather. It's like super windy. Like, not just, oh, it's a nice gentle breeze. No, it's like hurricane force winds blasting your face with dust. But we came back to our house and we had a crock pot of nacho cheese and chips.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we had drinks. Like, it was
We suck at life a lot of the time. But
just for birthday parties and preparedness. Like, this time we actually had meat and we had drinks, we had a cooler and all that good stuff.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Better luck next year.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, Riley.
all right. Well,
I think we've been distracted long enough. Our kids are, getting into things they shouldn't, so it's probably time to sign off.
We'll have more coherent thoughts next time.
Maybe.
And
Promises.
If you want to go back and listen to this episode when you feel like you need to be stressed out or annoyed,
I don't think anybody ever feels like they need to be stressed out.
or maybe like a contrast sort of deal,
Yeah.
like if they feel like they might be stressed out.
If you're on vacation and you miss your kids interrupting you, maybe you should listen to this episode.
Yeah. But like a contrast deal, like. Anyway. Cool. We're gonna go do our thing. So you guys have a good Sunday.
Happy Sunday.